You gave up a TV job to start a podcast in your basement. If that doesn't scream midlife crisis, I don't know what does.
It was Championship Sunday here in Indianapolis. What's the mindset then coming in as a defending champion?
I want to win. No, I want to win.
The young lady over my shoulder, Caitlin Clark.
Not the best looking guy. And I don't think anyone's going to sit here and say, Matt Randazzo was really good looking.
What has this last month, 2 months, 3 months been like for you? It's an important fan base for the Fighting Illini, is it not?
It is.
He turned 69 years young last week. He looked good, Coach.
Oh, trying. Thank you.
Welcome to Off the Air with Matt Randazzo here on a Thursday in the Quad Cities. Thursday, January 22nd. Thank you guys so much for joining us wherever you are, however you're listening to or watching the show. We greatly appreciate it. It is nearly Friday. The work week nearly done. We are getting ready for some ridiculously cold weather here in the Quad Cities. Friday, Saturday, really just awful cold weather. My kids are excited. They don't think they're going to have school on Friday, all those kind of things. So over the next couple days, stay inside, check out the show, check out the shows from this week, all of those kind of things as we get rocking and rolling here on OTA on a Thursday. I started my Thursday at the dentist. I don't know if that's ever a good thing or a bad thing. I actually love my dentist and what they do. So it was fun. It was good. No cavities, all those kind of things. But I said to myself, I'm like, man, like that's not a great way to start your day. Dentist, cold, all of those kind of things. But we're back here. We're warm. We're ready to rock, which should be a really fun show coming up today. A lot to get to. If you're watching us live on YouTube, thank you for doing that. We appreciate it. Make sure you have subscribed. If you haven't, please do so. If you have, thank you. Tell a bunch of friends about what we're doing each and every weekday right here in the Quad Cities off the air. Also, the live chat is going. You can chime in, ask questions, yell at me, scream at me, complain about me. All of those kind of things on our chat as well. X is going as well. We're live on X. X is very, very good to us. So we appreciate everybody who watches the show on X and those kind of things. It makes a big difference. So thank you for doing that as well. And then also the podcast platforms. Anywhere you get your podcasts, whether it's Spotify, Apple, Podbean, iHeart, wherever you get your podcasts, put in Off the Air with Matt Randazzo. You can listen to the show each and every day. And welcome, as always, to our viewers in Central Iowa. We are on every weeknight at 7 p.m. on the WHO streaming app. So if you guys are checking us out on there, we appreciate that. Thank you for doing that as well. A busy show to get to. It's been a fun week already. We've had a lot of great stuff, a lot of good guests so far. Coming up tonight, or today I should say, in a matter of moments, we'll be talking with former Rock Island standout, former Illini tight end, and now Arizona Wildcat tight end, Cole Rusk. Cole was actually on my very first show back January 6, 2025. Him, Pat Angerer, I'm trying to think who else. Another guest from today, John Marx. So, but Cole, a fantastic young man, just wrapped up 2 years at the University of Illinois. Played really good middle of the season. Very productive games against Ohio State. Washington had a heck of a touchdown pass reception, I should say, against Duke earlier in the season. He decided to hit the transfer portal. Great opportunity out in Arizona. We'll talk to him about the decision to leave Illinois. It's a place he grew up loving, still loves, what it's like out in Arizona, why Arizona, all of those kind of things. Cole Rusk coming up in just a matter of moments, so don't you dare go anywhere on that. Also, on today's show, Tom Kakert will join us to talk a little Iowa basketball. We didn't get to it yesterday. I'm busy with other stuff, but Iowa now a little break. They don't play till next Wednesday, so they survived Rutgers. They now have won 2 straight. We'll talk with Tom about that. Some new transfers to the football program. We'll talk about his Bears. So plenty of Hawkeye talk with Tom Kakert coming up in just a little bit as well. And then we didn't get to do it on Monday. We took Monday off, several reasons. It was a holiday. My internet here out in the area has been being worked on all week, so it was a little funky on Monday. Bunches of reasons. So along with no show on Monday, meant no John Marks on Monday. So we'll do our Marxy Monday on Thursday, catch up with Johnny, get his thoughts on Caleb Williams, the Bears, all of those kind of things. Look ahead to this weekend with stuff. Indiana's the national champion, local stuff here as well. So John Marks coming up in hour number 2 of the show as well. So a lot to get to on today's show. Before we get rocking and rolling, the Fighting Illini take care of business last night. Kylan Boswell out for about a month with a fracture in his hand. They played Maryland. They cruised against Maryland, winning 89-70. Andrei Soryakovich had 30 points, 9 rebounds. Mirkovich had 15 and 9, and Illinois led by 17 at the half. And it was easy after that. So Illinois winning once again. I believe that's their 8th straight victory. Now they go, I believe, on the road to Purdue this weekend. A tough task. Purdue coming off a loss as well. Coming up on tomorrow's show, well, most likely I'm efforting to get Ked Prince on here, talk about that win yesterday, but more importantly, looking ahead to Purdue. Ked hates Purdue. I mean, hates Purdue. So we'll get set for that big matchup coming up this weekend as well tomorrow on the show. Congratulations to Bill Fenley and the Iowa State women. They got back on track. They needed to. We talked about it yesterday with Jake Brend. We needed to get Iowa State women back on track. They did that, beating Cincinnati, getting some revenge, 93-68. Jada Williams, the transfer, scored 44 points. Had 8 assists. She accounted for, I think they said, like 63 points last night, just herself. Really an amazing night for her. Audie Crooks had 24. So a good game for her, but Iowa State back on track, playing without Addie Brown. So trying to figure out a way to get through this. And last night, a big first step in getting back on track. Cincinnati, bad basketball team, but they just beat you a few weeks ago. So a nice win for Iowa State as well. Iowa football news, they got a safety. We'll talk with Tom Kakert about that coming up in a little bit. But they also got a punter, Boston Everett, 19 years old, from Australia, 4 years of eligibility left. They did sign another punter as well. So a competition. I know Boston Everett most likely the long-term solution at punter, and we'll see how quickly he can become the actual punter at the University of Iowa. And it's crazy because most schools don't care about punting. And it's cliche because punting is winning at Iowa, but that wasn't the case this past year. The offense was much better, and I think it's going to get even better this next year. So, but special teams always important. So always important for Iowa to have good phases, and they've had to replace all 3 phases when it comes to kick return, kicker, and now punter as well as a special teams coordinator and special teams head coach as well with LeVar Woods. So Iowa football, we'll get to more of that coming up with Tom Kakert in hour number, or actually a little bit later on here in hour number 1. But we start today's show with a very familiar face right here on OTA. So joining us now, a familiar face here in the Quad Cities, especially Cole Rusk, former Rock Island standout, former Illini standout, and now Arizona Wildcat. First and foremost, welcome. How are you, my friend? It's been a minute.
I'm good. Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
Yeah, a lot's changed since probably the last time we talked, so we'll get into that as well. And I want to start with, obviously, the move from Illinois. When did you... Take me through the process. When did you kind of know that maybe a change in scenery was what's best for you?
Yeah, throughout the year, I gave it my all every down and every play that I got on the field at Illinois. I also, even just the guys, I loved it, and I loved every bit of Illinois. Kind of just during the end of the year process, you start to evaluate the year and what's best for you and stuff like that, and kind of just came to the conclusion with some close friends and family and just thought that it would be best for me to go somewhere else. But I loved every second that I was at Illinois, and it was a lot of fun.
You mentioned that because it was a lot of fun, and I know there's no love lost. I mean, you love the Fighting Illini, you love Illinois. Was it a difficult decision? Was it a bittersweet decision? Kind of take me, how would you describe the decision that you had to make?
No, it was definitely bittersweet. All I wanted to do was win at Illinois, and we won a lot. And I just wanted to help us win as much as I could. And it was definitely hard because I felt like that was the place that I was supposed to be at. And so leaving there and having to make that decision was definitely difficult, but I think it was what's best for me, and also, good for them too, and be able to move on and go our separate ways. But no, it was definitely hard. The little boy in me and the young me was definitely a little bit hurt, and yeah, it was a hard decision, but I think it was for the best.
No, absolutely. And you look at it, Cole. You have an opportunity. You go into the portal. It's a place you've been before. It's funny because we act like it's this fancy place or some palace you go to, but you're in the portal. What was it like this time? Did last time help you a little bit? And obviously, interest was probably pretty high when it comes to a young man with the skill set that you have for college football.
Yeah, no, I knew this time was more so business and trying to find the exact right fit, and less money, big schools, logos, and stuff like that. Obviously, being in the portal as many times as I have, I know it better than most, and so it helped a lot. Yeah, I just kind of wanted to find the right fit, and somewhere that I felt like I could help the program immediately, and that's really what came down to this decision. And it's been great down here so far, and I've loved every second of it.
You mentioned finding the good fit, the right fit. Arizona was that fit. Tell me about the Wildcats. How did that evolve and happen? And what was it, besides the fact that it's probably 75 degrees outside right now, what was the factors that helped Arizona, and what made you become a Wildcat?
Yeah, so Luke, my quarterback at Illinois, was at Ole Miss with Coach Daggy, our offensive coordinator here at Arizona, and so the connection there helped a lot. My best friend telling me like, "Hey, this guy's legit, and he's a great offensive coordinator. He's at Arizona," and so that kind of opened a door. And then they obviously had a good interest in me, and they believed in me, and they said that I could come here and play and compete for a spot, and that's all I needed. And they believed in me. And so as soon as they believed in me and said that, kind of the situation at hand, I was sold. And obviously all the great things that come with a place like this, it's beautiful and stuff like that, have been great. But yeah, really just that connection. And it's funny how this business works. Everyone knows everyone, and just friends of a friend. And so just kind of figuring that out, and kind of, in the portal, you get a lot of lies, and a lot of people say a lot of things. So I felt like this was real here, and what we got going on here is real. And I'm excited for this next year so much. I can't wait to get to work with these guys more. We've only had a couple workouts, but it's been great so far.
You mentioned the football side of things, and I agree with all that, and I'm sure that's the main reason. But come on, Cole, look outside. I can tell you, I'm looking outside here in the Quad Cities, and it's like 11 degrees. That has to help a little bit. Do you like being down there in the warmth?
Yeah, no, I actually went on a mission trip to a reservation right next to here. And so that was like my first time ever being out here. And then me and Luke actually just went to the Grand Canyon like last spring break for fun. And so I've been out here a couple times, and man, it's hard to beat. And I'm a Midwest guy. I still love the winter. I love the snow. I mean, I'm not like some, I don't know, gotta be in the heat, but it makes it real nice. And my mom and dad are trying to come down here as much as they can. It's yeah. All my buddies want to come down. It's real nice. It's about 75 degrees every day so far. I've been here, and sunny, so I can't complain.
I got to beef up the off the air budget. See if I can go down there for like a live interview instead of these on the on the phone as well. Cole, you look at it, and what you mentioned Cole, or excuse me, you mentioned Luke Altmaier, obviously someone you're very close with. And I tell people, you see Luke Altmaier and you see the quarterback, and he's really good, but he came up to my dad's golf outing when he didn't know nothing. I know he likes golf, but I remember speaking with him there, and it wasn't like, "Hi, thanks for coming." It was a genuine conversation. I know he's somebody that you're extremely close with. What was it like watching your best friend do what he did the last couple seasons at the University of Illinois?
No, it meant the world to me to see him continue to chase his dreams, and it's been awesome. to get the chance to step on the field actually with him this year and play ball, I mean, was so fun, and we have tons of memories and stuff like that. But more important than football, he's just a great dude, and he's been one of my best friends, and he's a brother for life for sure of mine. And so excited to see what's in store for him, and hopefully he gets to live it up and go play ball for a lot more years. But yeah, no, I'm excited for him, but he's just genuinely one of the best guys I've ever met.
Let's get back to the Illini, because it is something that I know you are proud of, because you guys made history the last 2 years, 19 victories, bowl victories, all those kind of things. How proud are you of what you guys did, the culture maybe that you guys established to help Coach Bielema establish down there in Champaign?
Yeah, no, I think that they're going to continue to do great things, and I'm just so happy that I was able to be a part of it for those 2 special years. I mean, that group of guys will forever be special to me, and obviously being hurt in 2024, then getting to come and help the team win games this year was super fun. And yeah, just as a fan and the little kid in me, I mean, it was a great time, and I'll forever be an Illini fan, and so it meant a lot to me. And I think that they have the best to come, and that they'll continue to grow with Coach Bielema.
You look at it, Cole, and you guys got to do a lot of things. You mentioned being hurt in 2024. What was it like to get back out there this year? I go back to that Duke touchdown, maybe the first touchdown of being back and on the field. It was that I'm back moment. I remember my kids going crazy. I think I texted you when it happened. Take me back to that and what you went through in 2024. This year, through the ups and the downs, had to be special knowing that you're healthy and back on the field doing something that you love to do.
Yeah, no, I think the big thing with any major injury like that, people don't talk about as much, is just your confidence. I mean, just getting your confidence back is a huge part of that, and that was a long process for me. I mean, going into fall camp and even those early games in the year, I truly didn't feel like I was at my best, and I think you could see that as the year went on, that I continued to try and get better and better. But that Duke touchdown really, I feel like, opened the doors for my swagger coming back, honestly. Like, I felt like I was like, all right, like, I can do this now. Like, I'm here. And so able to build on that and continue to build and play was super, super fun. And yeah, no, it was awesome. I'm just forever grateful. And, God has always had a plan for me, and I've always trusted his plan. And so for him to be able to open those doors again and allow me to play the game that I love has been awesome.
The swagger was back at Duke, and you look at it, some of your best games were against some of the best teams in the conference, Washington, Ohio State. That has to help when it comes to coming off that injury. Was that more confidence to you to know that you can do it at the highest level with the best competition in the country in college football?
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, I think before my injury, I would be the first to teeter a line of arrogance and confidence. And like, I've always been very confident in my ability. And I mean, I'm from Rock Island, Illinois, and that's just something that comes with that. And then being injured was a real, like, it was tough. You start to question some things and stuff like that, but being able to get back and have those good games against those teams that everyone talks about and everyone talks about their players was really helpful. And it's really, I feel like, built up and made me even hungrier for this year, and being able to showcase that more.
You are back and doing great things. Cole Rusk joining me right now and off there with Matt Randazzo. Cole, you look at it and you mentioned I'm from Rock Island, Illinois. Talk about this place, and you get back to so many things. You help out when you get back. You give back when you get back. There's not, and there's a lot of great ones from our area, but you can tell that you wear where you're from on your sleeve. You're proud of the Quad City area and where you're from. Kind of talk about that and how important were these people around here and your hometown when you're going through injuries, when you're going through transfers and moving around. How important has the support of your hometown, home area been?
No, it takes a village, and when people say that, you might not understand it when you're younger, and then you definitely start to understand it with the wisdom that you receive. I can't express that attitude that comes from Rock Island, Illinois, and it's serious. And I've always said that since day one. I know I shared my fair time of moving schools and stuff like that, but I've known that I was born in Rock Island, and I always had that chip on my shoulder, and I feel like all the kids have that chip on their shoulder, and even my best friends and my closest people that have been there for me and my family, it's a different type of edge, I feel like. And I know that great athletes and great kids will continue to come from that city because of that. And so I'm just happy that I get the chance to speak on that. And yeah, no, I mean, I love Rock Island, and I love my city. I'm proud of where I'm from, and I'm proud of that chippiness.
Cole, you mentioned wanting to play as much football as possible, and that's important, being on the field, doing those kind of things. I've talked to several people, not just obviously people who know you, but who don't, that see an NFL football player, see a guy who can play on Sundays and do this for a living. Not that you guys aren't making a pretty good living right now doing what you do, but kind of talk about that. What do you see in yourself? And obviously it's the goal for a lot of athletes, but what do you possess that you feel translates to playing football at a higher level on a Sunday someday in the NFL?
Yeah, no, I think I was able to showcase it a little bit this year, but honestly, I think I'm able to make some plays that simply that put me in a certain category of dudes. And I like to try and show it as much as I can. And I know that there's a ton of things that I still need to work on. And that's one of the reasons why I wanted to come to Arizona, is because I believe in these coaches, and I believe that they'll develop me into the best all around tight end I can be. But I know that there's certain parts of my game that are my thing, and that's my craft, and that's what I take care of, and I try to be the best at. And so, yeah, I think that I can do that at the next level, and that's what I hope to showcase a lot this year, and give me the best chance at that next year and beyond that.
Cole Rusk joining us right now and Off the Air with Matt Randazzo. Cole, you look at the NFL, there's so many good young tight ends, and I'm a Lions fan, so I love my Sam Laporta, but Colston Loveland is fantastic, Trey McBride, George Kittle, you go on. Is there a guy that you look at that you're like, that's the guy I want to be like, or that guy with that guy, a crossbreed of whatever? When you look at the tight ends in football, what stands out to you? What do you like to pattern your game off of?
Yeah, no, I think the guys that are able to just make plays and use their leverage, that's really intriguing to me. I like to watch the film of, like you said, the Laporta, the Loveland, and the Tyler Warrens, and some of these young guys that are really talented, Brock Bowers, and obviously, but I mean, I got to pay respect to Travis Kelce, probably my GOAT, and stuff like that. And what he was able to do in Kansas City is someone I've always kind of looked up as like the true route running tight end, but can do it all. And so, yeah, I like to watch those guys' film and see what they do. Why does it work? Obviously they're there for a reason. And, yeah, just kind of take a little bit from everyone and try and see how I can help model my game off of that. But for sure, I do love watching the next level and seeing how they play.
Cole, you did a lot at Illinois. One of the things you accomplished the last 2 years that might not stand out right away to you, but does to me, is that you are the two-time leader and captain of the Illinois golf team that came up here to the Quad Cities and beat the Hawkeyes. First thing I think of when I saw Arizona, I'm like, Cole gets to golf a lot more than he does here. How is the golf game? I do expect it's probably not going to be the same come this June with the distance and traveling. I don't know if you could take a personal plane to come back here, but how's the golf game? And I know you took that stuff seriously. It was fun watching you and the Illini teams go head to head with the Hawkeyes while you came up.
Yeah, no, I think we really only took it serious because it was against Iowa, and that won't ever change. If I ever get the chance to go against Iowa in anything, I'll never take it easy. But no, those events were so fun, and the event you put on is great, and tons of good people. So yeah, we had so much fun. That was honestly something the guys look forward to that second year when we came back and stuff like that. Like, I'd have guys asking me, and I had to make, we were coming on a strict roster, though. Like, if you can't play, then you don't get to come. And so it was fun, and we got the job done, and I don't think there was any way that we weren't going to get the job done. But, yeah, it's a great time, and it's fun. And I would tell the next Illini that comes, I mean, better not lose. That's all I got to say. Don't lose that cup.
I will keep you updated. I'll tell you that for sure. How is the golf game? Do you get to get out and about down there? I know Luke, and you're not that you're not a good golfer, But Luke,
Yeah.
Luke is a really good golfer. I was impressed when he came up 2 years ago.
Yeah. No, Luke's I would never say this to him, but he's better than I am. But no, I honestly I haven't got the chance to golf down here yet. I've only been here for 2 weeks, and obviously with school and compliance and workouts, I haven't got the chance. But everyone's told me about some of the great courses around here. So I got my clubs down here. I do have them, so I can't wait to get a chance and go try one.
Cole, before we let you go, I want to have some fun questions with you. You talk about the area and how important the Quad Cities is. When you get back home, like what food wise, what do you have to hit up? What is it like? I got to get here. I got to get to what are the places on Cole Rust's must hit when he gets back home?
No, anybody that knows me would tell you the same thing, but I'm going to Arthur's Deli first and foremost. I'm gonna get a number 7 and potato soup, and then after that, I'm gonna head to Whitey's Ice Cream, and that is a necessity. Anytime when I hit it multiple times when I come home, and those are my two favorite places, and those are my two true places that I miss the most when I'm gone.
You mentioned the food. What's the Whitey's order? I mean, Whitey's is what? I mean, do you have the same thing every time, or what's the pick to click?
I'll mix it up a lot, but I'm a big I like chocolate peanut butter, so they have like a peanut butter Revel, and so I'll get a shake.
Yeah.
I probably had too many of those this last off season, so gotta burn those off.
Okay.
But
We won't tell anybody.
yeah, no, I love Whitey's. I've yet in my entire college journey, I've yet to go somewhere better than Whitey's, and that's the truth.
You've had a lot of great things happen in college. You've been to a lot of great places. You've known and met a lot of people. What's the most famous contact in your phone? If you could point to and say, and don't say me. I know obviously I'm in there, so don't say me. Besides me, do you have a famous contact or the coolest contact in your phone?
Honestly, it would have to be probably like a head coach or something like that. I know that's kind of a boring answer,
Oh.
but I mean, they're probably the most famous people I know is just like some of the head coaches and stuff like that reach out or you talk to in the portal and stuff. Yeah, other than that, I mean,
You don't think Luke's
yeah,
famous,
I
do you?
really don't. No, not at
That's
all.
what people say to me
Not
all the
until
time.
he flies me to a game or something like that when he, makes it. But yeah, no, so yeah, some of these guys that go on to the next level, I'm excited for them.
Yeah.
Some of our previous seniors, they're about to make a big impact, and I'm sure that they'll get drafted well and stuff like that. So that will be exciting.
I got a picture of Anger signed, and it was up under my old house. And when we got to this one, my kids even saw it the other day. He's like, why isn't Pat up on the wall? I'm like, because it's weird to have your friend up on the wall. Like, he doesn't have my picture on the wall.
Yeah.
And that's probably the way you look at Luke is, yes, he's done a lot and accomplished a lot, but that's your guy. That's your friend. So I completely agree.
Yeah.
Can you help me with the Super Bowl? What happens this weekend in the AFC? What happens in the NFC? Who wins the whole thing? Can you help me out?
Obviously, I'm a Bears fan, and so I mean, not even devastated. It was a great game. I mean, you can't ask for much more. Obviously, I wish that we would have came away with it, but I really do like the Rams. But I'm not gonna lie, I'm taking the Seahawks. They've been dominant the last few weeks, and so I'm gonna take the Seahawks in the NFC. And then I really do think that the Broncos will pull it out and get some fire. Anytime there's like a change in like a quarterback or like just like, I don't know, it's either goes really well or really bad. So I don't know. It's either going to go really well or really bad. But I think the Broncos will light a fire, and that defense is really good. And then Super Bowl, honestly, I think the Seahawks will win. That's kind of my guess. And I hate to say that because I could care less about the Seahawks. I want the Bears to win, but
I'm going to have you help me again because I'm a Lions fan. I was impressed with what the Bears did. I get cranky because you got my guy, you got Ben, and I enjoyed Ben. Trust me, it was obvious. But I'm not yet a Caleb Williams guy. I don't think he's bad. I'm not saying he's not going to get great. And the flashy wow stuff is really fun. Convince me that he's like the next guy, the next dude.
no, I think that he's a great quarterback. I mean, I think you can't not say that he's super talented. I think that the way that he uses his tools, and he's probably one of the best athletic, just all around athlete quarterbacks in the NFL. I think that there's obviously things that he would like to work on, as any of us players would. And I think also just another year in that system will help a lot. It's a lot of times you don't talk about these transfer quarterbacks or NFL quarterbacks. It's not easy to learn a whole new offense. And I know Luke would say the same thing if you look at his years at Illinois, and the more he learned our offense and knew our offense and stuff. So I think you got to give a quarterback time. Too many you see all these young dudes start and then they don't do well and then they get benched and you kind of don't hear about them for a while. And I feel like the NFL's it's a business with that. And so give him some time in the system. But I do think his talent, let alone, should help carry the Bears for hopefully few more championship runs.
Oh, I hope not, Cole. That would be awful as a Lions
Yeah.
fan. Last couple. Where were you when he dropped back, ran 20 yards, and then threw it to the end zone? And what was your reaction? Were you like a 12-year-old kid again, going nuts, or take me through it?
No, I legit we kept like FaceTiming, me and my buddies, every like timeout or halftime and stuff like that. But I was legit sitting right here in my living room, and I mean it's going back, and I mean I'm like, I'm like, dang, like this is it. And he throws it up, and when I saw him catch it, I was getting a FaceTime from my buddy. We all answered the call, and I don't even want to say this publicly, but I was definitely screaming like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that. Like I was shocked. I mean, that you don't see stuff like that happen much very often, especially at that level. And so I'll know forever that I did watch a crazy ending to that game, and it will probably be the best what if, now that they lost. But I was screaming excited.
Do you hate the Packers? And what happens if, like, let's say next year the Packers give you a phone call and say, hey, Cole, we've drafted you. How about in the first round? We'll have fun. How about in the first round of the NFL draft? Like, obviously you don't like them, but you play for them, right?
Yeah. No, I would never play for Iowa, but I would probably play for the Packers. And so I would accept that call and be happy to hit a Lambeau leap. I don't take the NFL nearly as serious as I feel like college rivalries or stuff like that. Because I feel like at the end of the day, whoever picks you, the second I would get picked, I would be a big lifelong fan of that team. But it would be definitely weird. It would definitely would be weird.
That's two shots at the Hawkeyes. I like it. Let's make it a third before you leave. How bad have you seen Anger lately? He's like 300 pounds. He's really out of shape. He looks all. No, I'm kidding. He's
really.
No, I'm just. Kidding.
I was gonna say.
I'm kidding.
I can't believe that.
He's maybe getting there. But hey, I appreciate you. I appreciate you doing this. We will be rooting for you along with the rest of the Quad Cities. Do know that. We'll catch up again real soon. Keep the golf game going. I'll bug you about the event. I doubt it's going to happen, but you never know. I'll keep you in the loop and all those kind of things, and we'll catch up again real soon. I appreciate you, buddy.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks for having me on, and I'll text you.
Awesome. Thanks, buddy. That is Cole Rusk joining us right now on Off Day with Matt Randazzo. First and foremost, and I say this about Cole all the time, one of the best young men you're going to meet. Forget the football stuff, and that speaks for itself, but a really good human being. And when I say he came up and took part in the event twice, 2 years in a row, like they had workouts in the morning. And Champaign isn't Iowa City. And they got in a car and hustled up here and did what they did, helped us raise money, honor my old man, all that kind of stuff. So one of my favorite people, and he will do very good things at Arizona coming up next year. We got more to get to. You're watching OTA right here on a Thursday in the Quad Cities. We'll be right back. All right, be honest. Are you craving Hungry Hobo again? You know, that fresh sliced meat piled high on those amazing sandwiches, hot off the grill chicken and steak with all those delicious toppings, the biggest and best selection of baked potatoes, or simply some waffle fries dipped in cheese. Well, now that Quad City favorite is even easier to get. Download the Hungry Hobo app today. Order ahead, skip the line, and earn rewards all at the same time. There's Double Points Monday and exclusive specials as well. With 12 locations in the Quad City area, it's Hungry Hobo. Now even easier to find, but still hard to resist.
Rafferty Funeral Home, dedicated to serving families in the Quad Cities since 2007.
Hi, welcome. Here, come on in.
An experienced staff plans each service to reflect the unique life and legacy of your loved one. Rafferty Funeral Home is proud to serve our community with dignity, respect, and compassion, helping you to celebrate your traditions and lasting memories no matter your faith, culture, or budget. Rafferty Funeral Home in Moline. Call today to discuss prearrangements.
When it comes to quality, convenient pizza, Godfather's Pizza in Silvis has you covered. Featuring a beautiful dine-in area, delivery, and a carry-out window. Godfather's Pizza is that pizza you grew up with, not a convenience store. You see, at Godfather's Pizza, the dough is made fresh daily. That mozzarella cheese is shredded fresh and never frozen. And those toppings are abundantly piled high each and every time. Locally owned and operated since 2010, Godfather's is a huge supporter of local athletes right here in the Quad Cities. So come on by and check them out at 1211 Avenue of the Cities in Silvis. Order online at godfathers.com and reunite with that same delicious pizza you grew up with. Welcome back to Off the Air with Matt Randazzo here on a Thursday in the Quad Cities. It's a little bit of a break for the Iowa basketball team. The Hawkeyes winners of 2 straight games, although it wasn't overly pretty on Tuesday night. They got the job done beating Rutgers, so they get a little bit of a break. They're back next Wednesday. There's always stuff going on football-wise, and I figured it's always a good time to chat with our good friend Tom Kakert. Tommy, how are you, my friend?
I'm good, Dazzler.
No picture?
No.
Do you keep...
It's been banned.
No,
it's
I never
sitting right
banned
here.
anything.
It's
I'm
sitting
waiting
right
for it.
now.
I know it. It's weird that you have a picture of myself like that sitting there, but that's neither. Hey, I want to talk to you about the Iowa basketball team in a second. Nicholas Bears has been on and has done a fantastic job with getting things ready, talking, previewing games, breaking games down. He's in San Diego this week. The Bear Cage is so good for the Bear Cage,
and he's making fun of me. He was making fun of me for Ken Palm.
Yeah, but I do got to bring this up because you, John, Tyler, Chad, all these experts when it comes to Iowa basketball. This is Nicholas Bear last week previewing the Indiana game in which Iowa won 74-57 was the final. Check this out.
It's going to be pretty decisive, in my opinion. I think Iowa's a better team. I think it's probably going to be, if I had to guess a score line, I know Ket Prince and I were real close last time we did this. So I would say probably like 74-58 is kind of how I'm feeling going this game. More so because I think this Iowa team's going to do a pretty good job defensively of really stymieing this Indiana offense. From what I've seen from them so far, it seems pretty depending on 2 guys to get going. If you turn one of their faucets off, then it's gonna be really difficult. But
Tommy, Bear Cage nailed it, by a point.
The only thing I got right was the 74, but I had 74-71.
I remember when he said it, I was like, oh wow, he thinks they're gonna go on the road and win by 16 points. Won by 17. So we must give the Bear Cage credit where credit is due. You would be taking a victory lap as well. We will talk with Nicholas next week about it, but the young guy's got a shot, doesn't he? Doing this kind of stuff, Tommy?
He does. I think he's good.
He did a great job. So they did great on Saturday. Tuesday was uninspiring. The beautiful thing is they won a basketball game when they didn't play their best basketball. Your thoughts overall of Iowa Rutgers Tuesday night and what was not the most exciting of games at Carver Hawkeye Arena?
I use the baseball comparison. It's like that pitcher that goes out there. It's a veteran pitcher, a Greg Maddux or somebody like that. Doesn't have his best stuff. Tom Glavine, somebody like that. Doesn't have the best stuff that day, but they go out and they throw 6-7 innings of shutout baseball and just end up getting a win, even though they're working the pitch count was too high and everything else. It's sort of like that. They didn't have their best stuff. They had a couple of young players in Isaiah Howard, who had a career high in rebounds of 8 and just played terrific defense, and led the team in plus minus with plus 22 in the game. And then obviously Tate Sage is really coming on strong right now. Had a career high 17 points, 4 of 6 from 3. Just playing really good basketball, becoming a really good connector on the court, and played 30 minutes the other night, and they needed his help to get that win.
You mentioned Tate Sage. When did you realize? I mean, I think it's been growing, and he's had some really good basketball games. But I remember early in the season, like just pre-practice stuff and practice and hearing rumblings that they really liked Tate Sage. Coach McCollum kind of talked about it afterwards, where they always liked his offense. They just had to see him buy in defensively and do those kind of things. When did you start seeing it? And that's a guy that Ben McCollum wants Iowa basketball to be like, 6'7", 6'8", shoot it, pass it, those kind of things. Tell me a little bit about Tate Sage and when you kind of saw this coming.
Yeah, you could see it coming earlier in the year. At times he'd show the flashes and he'd hit some threes and you'd be like, huh, okay, I didn't know he had that. And I first really kind of heard about it after the Texas Tech scrimmage, talked to some people, and they were like, hey, Tate Sage, pretty good. He came off the bench and really gave him a spark, and he looked like he belonged at that level. And because we didn't know much about him coming out of Oklahoma. He's got a twin brother who's at Pittsburgh State in Kansas. Averaged like 13 points a game. Went to high school. One of the guys at his high school is an Oklahoma football recruit who's a really good athlete. So they had a really good high school team. But he's just, it's not like his physical skills just kind of jump out at you, but he just goes out there and just makes plays and hustles and cool under pressure. As much as his shooting was beneficial to Iowa in that last game, I think the thing that impressed me the most was late in the game. I think it was a 3-point game, and he walked to the foul line and just drained 2 free throws like it was nothing. He was cool as a cucumber. I mean, some might say he's ice, right? He's ice, Matt.
We'll get to that.
At the free throw. Yeah. Ice.
We'll get to your Bears. No, he played really well. He did. He played. And the thing with that game too is they needed him. Bennett got his 20, and I think the big question for Bennett Sturts coming in this year was night in and night out in the Big Ten. And it's not just like playing Purdue and Michigan State and Michigan and those teams, Illinois. It's every night out. It's a Big Ten school. He got his 20, didn't shoot it well. I think 8 of 21. Didn't make a 3. Are there going to be nights like that where Bennett's just going to have to grind and find and figure it out just because, I mean, he is 1A and probably 1B still? I know despite people stepping up, Tavion Banks and Tate Sage, he's the focal point, and he's getting so much attention night in and night out.
He's getting a lot of attention. And you had hoped at this point that a consistent second and third scorer would have emerged on the team, and it seems like it floats. Like one time it'll be Cale Combs, then the next game it's Tavion Banks, then it's Tate Sage. One of the guys that's kind of, I don't want to say disappeared, but just kind of, he's in a slump for sure, is Alvaro Bogares. He didn't. What did he have? 1 point last night, and played 14 minutes. His confidence, he just doesn't look confident with the basketball in his hands right now. On the offensive end, his shot doesn't look comfortable. He just looks like he's struggling. a little bit. So that's why this weekend is so important for this Iowa basketball team, because at this time of year, and I used to talk to Fran about this too, that you're just going game to game to game to game to game, and you're really not working on yourself, and you're not getting practices in to just kind of refresh yourself, because the Iowa offense last night kind of just got stuck. It's like they got stuck in the mud.
Got sideways to
yeah,
quote
there's a
former coach.
there's a Franism. Yeah, another Franism of sideways. They just it just wasn't moving. And they did get some stuff going. Ben talked about the last 10 minutes where they were running those high screens with Bennett and getting some things with Cam diving to the rim, or just Bennett going to the bucket. And they didn't ever really stop that. But I don't know that you want to live on that. And it just seemed like a lot of times it was Bennett out front and then four guys kind of standing around. And I was just looking for more action from them offensively, and for whatever reason, they were not able to do that.
Tommy, you look at this team, and you mentioned Alvaro and even Bennett to an extent. I mean, they're transfers coming from a lower level. You got a fly in there, Tommy?
I got a fly or something in there. Yeah. Just
I don't know if you're waving at me
winter.
or landing in a plane or what.
No,
it's too cold to have flies. Anyways, they're making a step up in competition, and we just had Cole Rusk on the last segment talking about transfers, and when you go to a different school, or especially when you go up a level, if you will, there's that adjustment period. You look at it with, I know different sports, so apples and oranges a little bit, but Mark Gronowski looked so much better the last half of the year than the first half of the year. Is that what Alvaro and to a smaller extent, like Bennett is kind of seeing, is because it's different. It's more physical. It's just taking time to adjust. I feel like Alvaro is dipping, but I don't know if there's a cause for concern. I think it's just an adjustment period. Your thoughts?
No, and like last year, Bennett kind of got to level up a little bit. They played some high major teams. The Valley is better than the Horizon League where Alvaro was at. Alvaro didn't play a bunch of these games. So this is an adjustment year for him. Bennett was able to level up and adjust and did fine, as did a lot of those guys who came up from Northwest Missouri State. But he's, Alvaro just, I think that the challenge for a big is the physicality is so much different, particularly in the Big Ten. You're going up against grown men with size who've been in weight rooms for 3 or 4 years, and it just makes it more challenging for him offensively. So that's why this next couple days I think is really important, because he can get in a lab with McCollum and the assistant coaches, and they can work with him. Same thing for Cooper Koch. I think Coop's struggling a little bit scoring, still playing great defense, still moving the ball, but he would, I think, be the first to tell you he's not shooting it at the rate that he would like to shoot, and shooting with the confidence that he would like to see. So get those guys going. I think that really makes Iowa a much better team, because you can see Sage coming along, you can see Howard coming along. Combs might be the most improved player on the team right now, from beginning of the year to now, just from where you thought he was to where he is at this point. He's really improved. Cam can give you some good minutes, and Tavion's had that Indiana game, 26 points. I mean, he's playing really well.
Tommy, you look at it, they get USC at home. They get that break, and it's an early Wednesday, 6 p.m. game next Wednesday. They get that break. I think that benefits them. I think it'll refresh them a lot. I like Iowa next week. They got that West Coast swing where they got to figure out a way to steal one, maybe, or at least split.
That Oregon team, the Oregon team is really beat up right now. They lost Jackson Shellstead, their really good guard. He's done for the year, and Biddle, their big man, who's really skilled and played well against Iowa last year. He's going to be out until the middle of February. So They've got an opportunity there. That Oregon team is just not flushed with big time talent right now, and scored 53, I think, against Michigan State the other night. So there's a chance there. Washington's sneaky good, so you're gonna have to watch that one. But they lost a really key player in Desmond Cloud, who they were counting on this year to come in and really help them as a transfer. But they got a kid from Europe, Steinbeck or something like that, I think is his last name, who's turned a lot of heads. Big kid that could give Iowa some trouble. That's a weird game, by the way. That Washington game I think it's like on a Wednesday or Wednesday night, and it doesn't start until 10 p.m. Central.
Mm-hmm. I was just going to say, and when I grew up, it was Iowa always played on Wednesday and they played on Saturday. And I think people love that. Now, mind you, this is 40 years ago, 35 years ago, but Iowa does have Wednesday, Sunday, Wednesday, Saturday coming up. And those Wednesday games, though, 6 p.m. at home, 10 a.m. or 10 p.m. on the road. And then the following Wednesday, they're at Maryland for a 5 p.m. tip. Out at College Park. So just different times. But when you look at Iowa right now, and Nicholas did make fun of you. Ken Palm, Wheezy Drink, all that kind of stuff. Still looks great there. Quad wins, where are they at with certain ones? I know Indiana's a quad 1 win. Is UCLA after UCLA beat Purdue?
Not
Does
yet.
that get them
Not
up?
yet. Not yet. UCLA went to 40 yesterday, or after that win against Purdue. So they're not quite there yet, but could get there. It's within shouting distance now. So they've got a shot to pick up one. I would assume, but I haven't looked at what Oregon and Washington are, or USC. So I don't think USC is in the top 30 in the net. But yeah, that's why I pay attention to these things, because it's, important for NCAA. That's why you pay attention to them.
You look at the home schedule still left real quick. USC, Northwestern, you get Purdue and Nebraska back to back. They go Saturday, Tuesday, the 14th and the 16th. Two big games against two top 10 teams right now.
Hey, will Nebraska be undefeated when they come to Iowa City?
They're so due to lose. I'm looking at their schedule real quick to kind of see. All right, they got Washington. It looks like it's at home. That's a tough, sneaky game, but it's at home. Could they go to the barn and lay an egg? If not, they go Michigan, Illinois, the next two games after that, and then they still have. Yeah, I mean they go through it. Washington at home.
They play at Michigan, right?
Yeah, at Michigan coming up on the 27th. They follow that up with Illinois back at home. They beat Illinois and Champaign, but they get Illinois again. They got Purdue at home.
Illinois, though, without Kylan Boswell now.
Yeah. No problems last night, but 100%. And they finished the season at home, of course, with the Hawkeyes. They did that last year as well. So, yeah, Tom, it's an interesting look for Iowa basketball. It's funny because and we'll leave his name out, but I have a son that gets pretty pessimistic, and we were leaving Carver when they lost Illinois, and it was, we're not gonna make the NCAA tournament, and then you turn around and you beat Indiana, and you beat Rutgers, and things look okay. So I want to talk to you a little bit about some football. We talked with Pat Anger yesterday. He's such a brilliant mind when it comes to football. And changing batteries in a car. If you didn't listen to that story, you should go listen to it. Iowa got another commitment via the portal, and you can correct me, but isn't it like 15 in, 8 out?
15. Yeah, something.
Did you think in any world that Iowa would bring in 15 new players this year?
Didn't think they would, but they brought in like 4 safeties now. I don't know, probably 10.
Yeah. Tell us about the new safety. Obviously, safety, a position of interest and need with Cohen Untringer hitting the portal as well, going to Louisville for some reason. And, of course, they lose Xavier Wampa, the newest commit. And it's funny, I had Doc on here last year, and he's like, they haven't bit on that former four-star recruit from like an Ohio State or anything like that. Now, this kid's only a 3-star recruit, but a former Buckeye. Tell us about the new safety.
Cody Haddad, who's, a safety, could be a cash for Iowa, but got good interest. I mean, he's a 3-star kid out of Cleveland, but he had Tennessee, Texas A&M, Nebraska were all involved with him. So he had to make a quick decision because, with Iowa, classes are underway this week. So you got to get enrolled.
These kids go to class still?
Well, Carson Beck doesn't, but,
Go on.
Apparently what he said the other day, but he actually said, I haven't, he's still taking classes, but it's like they're kind of independent study, if you will, I would guess. But yeah, this is, good addition, 4 good additions. They kind of remade their safety position in the off season. And the guys coming up, it was kind of thin. So they had to retool this. The cool thing about this with these guys is they've all got multiple years left. So they'll be around for a couple of years. It's not like that's the interesting thing with Iowa in the portal is they didn't go for a lot of 1-year rentals, which you've seen them do, like with Gronowski was a 1-year rental. You just find a lot of guys like that. This was, this portal thing was, they didn't go after the high-end guys from, the name brand schools very much. They went for guys at Elon and James Madison and Villanova and Northern Illinois, guys, places like that. Not flashy, although JMU did make the college football playoffs, so we can't really say a whole lot about them. But they found guys that fit, I think, the program and that are going to be around for a couple of years. And I think that's important, is you want to have guys that can kind of come in that you think are going to be good fits for your culture and then stay there for a couple of years and build something at the University of Iowa. So, I'm looking at some of the like way too early polls, and just about all of them that I've looked at have Iowa in the like high teens, 16, 17, 18, 20, somewhere in that range coming into next season. So we'll get that scheduled next Tuesday too.
I was just going to bring up next Tuesday, the schedule comes out. So probably expect Tom along with somebody. I'm going to do a little round table with it. I might see if Chad wants to come on next Wednesday and do like you guys can pick the way too early Iowa schedule or something like that. Maybe John as well. Maybe just everybody. But with that being said, what's your headline going, or what's the biggest question or the thing you're wondering about when it comes to the schedule? Are you wondering, like when you first see it, what are you looking for?
The Big Ten games, because we just don't know what order they're going to be in.
Yeah.
And, is it, what's it look like? Are there any other Friday games besides Nebraska?
Yeah.
I assume that Black Friday is still going to keep going, but because Iowa's at home the first 3 games, so that they're going to open on the road. You just know that's going to happen. Yeah, and where's that Michigan game at? Where's the Ohio State game at? Because those are the 2 big boys. Going to Michigan and Ohio State coming to Iowa City.
Yeah.
Those are the 2 big dogs that they gotta take on this year. So we'll see. It's I still think this team's got a lot to offer. So but it's a fascinating team because you're retooling the offensive line, you're retooling the defensive line, and the back end of the defense. So there's legit questions coming into this year for sure.
A couple more before I let you go. College football wise, when it comes to the big picture, Indiana is your national champions. It's the greatest
They are.
turnaround in sports since blank. Ever?
I don't know. It's like the movie Hoosiers, isn't it?
It's 50 years since Indiana basketball won a national championship too, as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah. Bob Knight, 76 team with Quinn Buckner, Kent Benson, Bobby Wilkerson. Who else? Abernathy was on that team.
Tommy,
Scotty May.
you're making yourself feel really old.
I know.
But it's good for college football. In everything that's happened, and I have so many complaints about college football with the way things are done and the transfer portal and the NIL and all those kind of things. There's a lot of things I would love to mess with. I do think the fact that Indiana, Miami, Ole Miss, and Oregon were your Final Four is a good thing for college football, isn't it?
I think so. I think what we have found out is that this NIL era has given everybody a shot. You can spend some money, spend it wisely, make good decisions. I think what you're finding out is, and this was, I don't really love praising Nick Saban a whole lot, but he was smart to get out when he did, because every year it was Georgia and Alabama, because what they would do is, the SEC was doing business.
Yeah, they were already
And
doing
they-
the cheating before it was cheating.
and they would just stockpile players. And their second string, I remember Kirk and I used to talk about this, Kirk was like, our top 33, we could go against just about anybody in the country. But 34 on, it's a different animal at Ohio State and Michigan and Alabama and Georgia and all those places, because they'd have all these guys that are 4 and 5 star guys that are waiting in the wings, and Iowa would have a walk on from Dubuque Hempstead or something. It's just that's just how it is, and the rules were all different, where you'd have to sit if you transferred and everything, unless you had the uncle on dialysis or whatever, aunt on dialysis, and then you could maybe get a waiver to play right away. All the loosening of the rules, and kids can just go. They'll just be like, I'm not going to sit. I can go make money playing elsewhere. I don't have to go to Bama. I can go play elsewhere and make good coin and make some money. And that's, it's still messy. It's still, there's still got to be some sort of, I don't know. My solution's always been collectively bargain, make the college football players part of the NFL Players Association or something like that, collectively bargain so they get some rights, but establish some sort of limits on things and figure it out that way. That's the solution. But the universities will never do it because they don't want to make them employees. So we're stuck, and they're gonna have to get drug, just like they got drug to even get to this point where you have a transfer portal and you have actual schools actually giving kids directly money. It took forever. It was the simplest solution of all time, and they had to get drugged there by the House settlement to actually do this. And then the NCAA's reaction usually is just, we're going to throw our hands up in the air and just like, yeah, you guys go do what you want. That's not governing. That's not establishing rules. And that's why you have this Wild West show every year. It got better this year because it limited to one portal thing. But I mean, look at college basketball right now. You had a guy from Bama on Wednesday. Guy's been out of Bama since 2023, and he's been floating around in the G League, and now he wants to go back to Bama, and of course some judge in Tuscaloosa. Yeah, what is he going to do? He's going to, of course, give them that. That's a home team advantage. So now this kid could play in a game on Saturday.
Yeah.
If it's in theory.
That's the bad of college sports right now. And like you
it's
said,
insanity.
It's the fact that Indiana and
that would be like Jack Campbell saying that he's done with the Lions. He wants to go back and play for Iowa for another year. Oh, okay, Jack, you can go back then.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's like you said, it's insane. I do remember the days too. We talked about the moving back closer to home and all those kind of things and getting waivers. Remember when people used to be academically ineligible?
Oh my God, yeah.
I don't think I've heard of anybody being academically eligible at all.
No, and remember when coaches could block transfers? Remember Bo Ryan tried to block Jared Uthoff?
Yeah.
Because he was mad at Fran in Iowa because he said they were cheating and they were contacting him.
Yeah. Oh, the good old days. All right.
It was the good old days.
You did the old Iceman thing. How are you? I can't fathom what you did when he threw that Hail Mary, and yes, it was a Hail Mary.
You know what I did? I jumped up in the air, and then I nearly passed out. I fell back into the couch and just laid there with my head back.
I wish you would have got the no, I'm just kidding.
I got to the best part was, and you know this,
was the interception and then the field goal. That was the best part, but go on.
With your boys is Jack was home, and so we got to watch both the playoff games.
Oh, that's awesome.
Together, and it was so much fun watching those games because we don't get to watch them much anymore because he's in college. So we got to enjoy, and he got way into the Bears this year, so it was fun.
No, it is.
That was the best part.
I tell.
And the future is extraordinarily bright. And but what Ben Johnson said today is accurate. We're back to last. There's no building upon. We got to rebuild it.
Yeah,
got to start from zero.
You can't bank on that much luck again next year. You can't. You just have to try to figure out a way to get better and somehow get your quarterback to play better besides the fourth quarter. It's those kind of things that you really need to
little
work
digs.
on as you move forward.
You're always going to get your digs in.
And that's the thing is, I've been painted as a Caleb hater. I don't know how he's going to turn out. No, I don't know how. I don't like him. I think he's But he's the rival quarterback.
You know who he's going to be? You know who he's going to be your next 5 years? You know who he's going to be, Matt? He's going to be your daddy.
Oh my God.
He's going to be your daddy.
He has yet to beat the Lions. So
That's
he's
okay.
gonna get one of those first before. Here's my thing with Caleb is I don't know what it's gonna look like, but every Bears fan that's excited was equally excited for Justin Fields, and it turned out to be nothing. There's so much work that he needs to do. Yes, the wow throws that are on fourth down and probably a little lucky, but we won't get into that. He has the unscripted ability to make big plays. But man, I was just watching the last Lions-Bears game because I like to go back and watch old games. And he was bad against the Lions. Anyway, I don't want to get into Caleb. There's enough Caleb talk on my show. And painting me out to be, I'm just saying the future's, the verdict, the jury's still out on how good he's going to be.
Here's what
That's
I would
fair,
say.
right?
I would say the leap he made from year 1 to year 2 when he had legitimate coaching is pretty impressive.
Weren't his numbers basically the same?
No. No.
Let's look.
The leap he made as a quarterback, running a team, decision making.
Here's what I would caution
better.
Bears fans about. I've seen a Ben Johnson offense when it's clicking on all cylinders. That ain't it. 7 of 9 quarters in the postseason. You take out the second half against the Packers. So I gave him a quarter because of the overtime. I give that. Although I did see your tweet. It might have been a text that was like, "Why do we even have a clock in overtime? Like, what's the point of it?
I know.
Are they going to end time?
There is no point. There is no point.
But 7 of the 9 postseason quarters, the Bears scored a total of 20 points.
Uh-huh.
I've seen Ben Johnson offenses. The only person in the world that can hold a Ben Johnson offense to 20 points in 7 quarters might be Caleb Williams. I can't fathom they scored just 20 points. I'm just saying it's uneven is all I'm saying. He's the other time, like the stuff that's good is really good. The stuff before it has to be average or a little better, if that makes sense. I'm not trying to be mean, but he's got to be better in the first through third quarter.
You're trying to be mean.
It does matter. Here's what I said to people this week. I said, I feel really good for Bears fans. Like I do, like Bobby Metcalf, Wheezy. I love Wheezy, Chad, Doc. I don't like you. I don't want to see you happy, but you're the guy who texts me when something for the Bears and Lions happens. So that's the fun of it. I did have one other thing Bears wise, but I can't remember what it was. So anyways, go watch. I thought the conversation that I had with me and Lauren Cox was very interesting. So
okay.
Go take a peek. I think it was pretty good. All right, Tommy, you get a weekend off.
Uh-huh.
Do you get to do anything fun?
No.
Hey, next week, Royal Rumble talk here on OTA. Next Friday, a week from Friday.
Don Umlin?
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Will Don Umlin be on?
Yeah, of course. Early pick. Do you have any early picks for the Royal Rumble?
Bianca Belair.
For the girls. What about the guys?
Yeah. Good question.
All right.
MJF? No, not MJF.
All right. I'll save it for next Friday. Tommy, thank you. Appreciate you, buddy.
All right.
That's Tom Kakert talking Hawks, Bears as well, all that kind of stuff. I'm telling you, you people are making me look out to be this, I hate, I'm telling you the things he's doing good. I'm also pointing out that the things that he's doing bad as well, and it's pretty easy to point out. So anyway, and he's year 2 in the NFL. I'm not saying he's a finished product. I'm not saying he's not going to get better. All those kind of things. So, all right. We got more to get to after the break. Coming up, we'll have our weekly talk with John Marx. I bet we talk Bears some more. That much more. You're watching OTA right here on a Thursday in the Quad Cities.
Give me the keys. Learning to drive can be stressful for both the student and, yes, the parent as well. Relax. There's an easy way to avoid the stress. Skiles Driving School in East Moline has been helping new drivers hit the road with confidence for over 20 years. Whether you're a teen earning your first license or an adult looking for behind-the-wheel training, we've got you covered. Their certified instructors are patient, experienced, and use modern vehicles equipped for safety and comfort. From classroom instruction to real-world driving, we make learning safe, affordable, and even fun. Call 309-278-0098 or visit skylesdriving.com. Skiles Driving School. Get in, buckle up, drive your future forward.
Oh, unfortunately. Welcome back to Off the Air with Matt Randazzo here on a Thursday in the Quad Cities. Usually, if you're watching the show on a Thursday, you're like, okay, the coast is clear. I won't have to put up with that John Marx guy because it's not Monday. I'm good. It's not. I don't have to worry about it. Oh, unfortunately, it's Marxy Thursday. You might have to. I will give everybody who gets annoyed by the two of us the chance to go away from the show now. How are you, my friend? Thank you for being flexible this week.
Computer issues with me. It's been crazy, as you know. But and you know who our lead IT guy is. He's the head coach at Makoka. Thanks to him, you and I are having a conversation.
No, he's one of the best, and his basketball team is really good, despite him.
Yeah,
they're
he's
really
a good basketball
as well.
coach.
Yeah, so
And a great dude.
I've been living it, Johnny, this week because Mediacom, and I love Mediacom. This is not basting Mediacom by any stretch of imagination, but they're working on our internet to make it better. I understand that as a customer, but I know that it goes going to go in and out. And like I've been telling people, if you're doing an internet show, you can't have an internet going in and out. That's not good. So we've been grinding, we've been surviving, all those kind of things as well. So and Monday was one of those days as well. So thank you for being flexible. We got a lot to catch up on when it comes to this kind of stuff. But I know I got Caleb Williams to talk to you about and other stuff, but you sent me a text yesterday, and it was a very valid text. How do you get, you may have used an expletive, I don't know. How do you get a technical in a 5th grade basketball game? Johnny, I love officials, but why, and you have no love lost for umpires, and you know that. Why do some, and they're a very small amount, why do they feel like they're gods of the sport or the controller? I equate it to, and I love Don Umland, but Don loves, when we used to work out with Donnie, Don liked to run the workout. You know what I mean? He liked to be in charge. There's certain officials that like, they let that go to their head. And that's what happened on Sunday, Johnny. I don't know why. I hate being the guy I got a technical in a 5th grade basketball game. That's embarrassing, right? I mean, that sentence
it was
is
a riot for
embarrassing.
it to happen. Here, Maddie, there are some people when they put on that, whether it be the gear to umpire, the stripes to work a Friday night football game, and after 30 years of coaching high school football, it was the same situation. There are 5 or 6 of that crew that you can talk to, and there's always one pain in the backside that thinks they're above a reproach. It happens everywhere. Once you give somebody a modicum of power, Matt, it changes the dynamic. I'm sorry that it happened to you. I know the circumstances that it happened to you. I'm not really sorry, but
I've deserved them.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
It's probably karma.
And I've been bounced from more ball games than people have played, and there's a difference now in today's world. Everybody from the stands is an expert, so they're hearing it there. Especially, and you have children that play travel. We'll use travel baseball as an example. AAU basketball is even worse. Everybody believes that they have an opinion, Matt, and that their opinion from the stands is valid and it's better, excuse me, than the referee or umpire who's right there. They don't get paid enough to deal with it, so they come in with that chip on their shoulder. But the other part of it is, why not just to counter that? They need to learn to let the game come to them not take the game. Now, and I'll take umbrage with our dear friend Don. You know how he is. He loves at one time in that basketball game or whatever that it's about him.
Yeah.
They all do.
Oh, anytime I ask Don to come on the show, he's like, yes, right away, because they like, and we all do. I get it. Again, I want to point out, it was 4 minutes. I wish I would have looked at the clock. It was 4-2. The score was 4-2, which in a 5th grade basketball game can be a while sometimes. But it was 4 minutes into the game. I said one word. If anybody missed the show yesterday, I said travel. I didn't look at him. I didn't say it to him. I just yelled travel, and I got banged with a technical, and I was forced to sit the rest of the game. Now, I talked to Brian Stocking last night, our fellow expert on everything. Genius. He thinks. But like, he's like, well, it's the seatbelt rule. You have to sit down. I'm like, it's not a high school basketball game. It's a 5th grade basketball game. I'm coaching kids. It's easier to coach kids when I can walk down the bench and talk to them. It's easier when I can be out a little farther. So anyways, I don't want to make this about, I did. Anybody and we're going to put a poll question up. Getting a technical foul in a 5th grade basketball is, and I'm going to put like, it doesn't matter the situation. It's awful, understandable under certain situations. And we'll put another one up there, but I want your feedback. Everybody can bash me, all those kind of stuffs, but I've moved on. I think.
Maddie, this all would be remedy if mommies and daddies would just shut up.
Yeah. Well,
bottom line, that's the issue.
Well, because the referees are on guard because they get yelled at all the time. Instead of just getting yelled. And I didn't, again, and you could talk to Jimmy Vandahede, Kevin Ferris. There's so many referees that put up with me, and I am that guy. And Jimmy just laughs because I've earned so many over the years that I probably had my come-ups and all that kind of stuff.
Keep in mind who your 2 assistants are too, though, Matt.
Yeah, Scott Hardison and Matt Franks. Are we kidding? Like, it's the loudest bench in the history of 5th grade basketball. Maybe the loudest bench in the history of basketball in general. I told Don Umland, Don has Scott Harding and Geneseo girls next next Thursday, I think. And I said a week from today.
Hardison.
And I said, if you hear Coach Hardison say the word travel at all, boom, you got to bang him right away. So we'll see what happens. All right, enough about my stupid word. Stuff. First off, how's Jackson? I don't care about you. He's the Bears. I enjoyed talking with him. We saw each other at PepsiCo last week and shot it up for a while. You get through a quick workout on an elliptical when you got Jackson Marks to talk to. How was the household on Sunday? How was it during that the Caleb Williams throw? I can't fathom what happened in the house. I love hearing what happened when they saw it.
You know my son. You know he enjoys fitness. You know he's that guy that's not afraid. First of all, I've prefaced this many times. He's the guy that will walk into the stadium in 90,000 with the guys in the front row that are all painted up saying, hey, you got to get out. You're not going to have a date tonight. You guys, you need to relax. But then he's the guy on Sunday night when the Bears are playing who's up doing push-ups when they score, jumping jacks, excited, punching the air. And while making fun of those enthusiastic college football fans in the stadium he's played against. So he becomes them when it comes to the Bears to play. He just calmly got up and out of a recliner that he was in and just kind of did a little double punch thing and sat down and said, I knew it was going to happen. So he called, like something magical was going to happen. And that's what you get when you've got someone athletically gifted like the Bears quarterback. So
yeah, no, and honestly, like I was again invested on the Bears during the game because I was expecting that kind of stuff to happen. And
no, you wanted them to lose.
I wanted them to lose, but I lost $200. Like the week before, I won a bunch of money. I just figured like I take my heart out of it, and like they're gonna do it. And so I think like with Sean McVay, like I couldn't fathom it was 3rd and 8. With like 2:07 to go, and they handed the ball off, and you have the MVP arguably in the backfield with your quarterback, and the 2-minute warning was coming. So it wasn't like you were going to make him use a timeout. You weren't going to, run a bunch of clock time off the clock. I couldn't fathom giving that team the ball back, and then the Bears win. They score, or not win, but they score the touchdown. Did you think Ben should have gone for 2?
Okay, and I know you and he are on a first name basis.
We're real close.
To call him Ben
instead
of Ben Johnson or Coach Johnson.
We're close.
I didn't know you two had a relationship. So
his full name's Benedict, but I won't get into that.
Well, that's the same with Tom Brady, who has the ability and the credentials to call anybody in the NFL by their first name. So, but those of you that don't, that's okay. Coach Johnson, I would have gone for 2 right there, Matty, because I didn't want to put the ball back in anybody else's hands, even though the Bears got to stop. We know DJ Moore didn't run the route. We also know that Loveson, the tight end, didn't run it when they had over-under, and that cost Caleb Williams an interception when they had man here and zone here, and he cut it off and didn't finish the route. I would not have given the Bears the football. I would have tried to take it in right there and put it away with 2 minutes. But back to that, with Coach Johnson, I would have gone for 2, and you live longer and you prosper better if you go for 2 there.
Yeah, Johnny, I was surprised he didn't go for 2. I thought they probably would go for 2. I think you look back at the Packers game, the second one at Soldier Field, and I thought he'd go for 2 at that situation. Didn't, went to overtime, won the game. If you're at home, maybe you don't. Maybe you go for it on the road. So anyways, they did that. I know Caleb is growing on you, and I'm become like the biggest Caleb hater in the world, which I'm not. I'm really not. I just like the crowning of great quarterback stuff. I think is silly. He could become. He's only year 2, but Johnny, like,
absolutely.
Besides like the crazy plays that are on 4th down and almost like Hail Marys, but I digress. I do think like it's like I look at it like this, and people get mad at me about this. There was 9 quarters of football in the postseason. I count overtime as a quarter because it was almost a full quarter. Oh, in 7 of those 9 quarters, the Bears scored 20 total points. A Ben Johnson-led offense in 7 quarters scored 20 points. I rewatched the Lions-Bears game last night just for fun. The Bears scored 16 points on 2 drives in the fourth quarter, and that's it. The rest of, his numbers, if you look at the numbers, and I get the crazy plays, and he's got a knack for that it thing, and that's hard to get. He's got to get better as a quarterback by next year, because he's a 52 to 60% passer and all that kind of stuff.
There's the stat, Matt. He's got to be able to throw for 60+% in that league, especially with all the check down options that are available in those type, and especially in somebody. And this is I believe the trend. There's going to be a lot of 3 tight end sets in football now, and it gives you the option to run that option read, and then it gives you another throwdown and a guy that'll sit in that 8-yard zone, stuff like that made Travis Kelce so famous. So that's going to change, and he's got to be able to do that instead of throwing the deep ball every time or forcing something that he believes is there, which wasn't there on two key situations for the Bears. The other part of that is they weren't really good in the red zone inside the 10-5, and I think that led to some trepidation when it came to Ben Johnson's decision. But Matty, come on, go for 2 there in your house and leave it all right there. You're anointed as something special as a program if you get it and get into the NFC Championship game. And then if you don't, you're still backslapped for being the guy that's not the Riverboat gambler who's not afraid to go for it. So I didn't want you can't put the ball back in Matthew Stafford's hands. It was the only issue I had with any of it. Yeah. And especially when 13 seconds left, 18 seconds left.
I'll say this too, and as hard as I've been on Caleb, or not hard on, but pointing out that besides a couple drives, he wasn't very good.
He's not elite.
Well, no, and I look at Matthew Stafford wasn't either that game. The weather played a part into it. It's not like you were slinging around in California or indoors or at Ford Field and all those kind of things. So I do take that into account that it wasn't. So as a Bears guy moving forward, and I really thought Bears fans should be excited about what Ben Johnson said yesterday, because it was more, hey, we're at 0, we need to get better, and not that status quo. You're not going, I know Bears fans hate to hear this, you're not going to get as fortunate as you did last year in some of the things that happened. And so right. I think they're going to get better. I don't think they're going to rest on their laurels. Everybody looks on the defensive side, and yes, there's big ways to improve that defense, and they have to do that, and I understand that. But I think Ben looks at it as a mad scientist and goes we just gave up 17 points to the Rams in a game, and we didn't move on. If you would have told me before that game they gave up 17 points, I would have thought that they would have won by 2 touchdowns. Ben wants to score. I still think there's ways to improve that offense. I think the running backs can get better. I don't know if they have a home run hitter when it comes to elite speed. Maybe it's Luther Burden. Maybe it's Luther Burden. But I don't know. Anyways, off-season wise, you're the general manager of the Bears. What does John Marks do?
I get me 2 defensive ends that unlike the guy in wherever you're a fan of, and anybody named Bosa and
Max Crosby,
the white guy from Pittsburgh that don't know how to stay home. I would get me 2 defensive ends that understand the read option, and I really don't care. I'll take. I need a 1 and a 3 technique to start with. People are they gassed you all season running the football, so you need 2 interior people that are a whole lot better than the guys you put out there every day. And I think that'll be a priority. You need depth on the offensive line. You need to find out if DJ Moore and Rome Odunze and Luther Burden, et cetera, and really a nice core can all work together and get enough touches when your quarterback, who's young, and became infatuated with his tight end, and which is fine, because then Lovell has to be a better receiver. Komet is a phenomenal blocker and can do many things. I don't know if you re-sign him. And the other part of it is, again, as we talked, Nettie, that 3 tight end set that you're going to see a lot more in the NFL. I think they'll have to better that to catch the football. And then you do Brewers Eagles on the outside. I think Luther Burden is that deep guy. I didn't like the fact that he had. I texted you, and my guy had a drop, and which was thrown at about 300 miles an hour. over his other shoulder, but that's fine. You got to catch that ball. And so I think they start interiorly, defensively. You take care of your interior techniques, and then you get Montez Sweat is horrible. I'm sorry.
And then you're on the books for $25 million. I don't know how you get rid of. I don't even think they can get rid of it. And then you have the what's the other guy they signed for $20 million? That's what we had. We had Lauren Cox on from Locked On Bears earlier this week, and Lauren was like, "Yeah, the Max Crosby stuff makes sense. You know, they maybe give him DJ Moore and a first round pick and a third round pick, and you get there, but you're paying one defensive end $25 million, the other one $20 million, and Crosby's making $35 million. You can't pay that position $75 million. So, but I, as a Lions fan, I'm scared out of my mind that Max Crosby goes to Chicago. I think he'd be a great fit there. He's really he's that defensive end like Aiden Hutchinson. That although he's not Aiden Hutchinson because he wasn't an All-Pro like Aiden Hutchinson was. But I digress. He gets to the quarterback. He plays the run. All those kind of things as well. I think I think they need to make a splash move on defense, and that's the one that seems to be out there for them.
And I think Khalil Mack comes home. They find a way to bring him back and be that rover, whatever you want to call the fifth, that outside technique guy too as well. So, and then again, they'll morph. They have a tremendous head coach. He understands what they need, and as you said yesterday, the best thing he said is we're starting from square one, and I do believe they have weapons. So, and I think they'll be better.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Johnny, before I let you go, I want to talk to you a little bit about the national championship game. Indiana wins it, and it's cool. It's one of the greatest. I think it's the greatest turnaround in the history of sports, from going from the losingest program in college football to now the national champion, 16-0. I think it says a lot about college football. There's a lot about college football I hate right now. I mean, a lot that I hate. But the good thing is Oregon, Indiana, Ole Miss, and help me, I'm missing one. We're in Miami. We're the Final Four. That's great for college football. Like, I think the diversity and the chance that an Indiana can win the national championship, I think that's one of the good things that have happened to college football. I hate the portal. The NIL needs to get fixed, all that kind of stuff. But I do like the fact that we had a champion that it wasn't named Alabama or Ohio State or Georgia. I think that's a good thing.
And the coach, and I'm a big fan of Coach Signetti. I was a big fan the day he walked in and said, "Google me and I win." And the fact that he won at James Madison and Elon and IUPU just signifies that. And he was an assistant under Coach Saban. So I love that part, Matty. Again, NIL and the transfer portal was good to me and my family, so I'll be quiet about that. But Pat made a great statement on your show, I believe yesterday or whatever. Yeah. When did you have? Whenever I met, Pat said it. He was a bit of, and I'm a big fan. So everybody knew he was a knucklehead growing up, and when he left, that he went out there and he was kind of immature, and he'll be the first to admit it. But he also found traction when he was confronted with growing up, the maturation process by one coach. Now, if coaches and schools will make a commitment to the coach and stay with somebody, or the coach will stay more than 4 years, Matt, or not leave, that's all that started was coaches up and going. Again, if that finds some footing, and you got to take care of the money side, which is ridiculous, but again, benefited my family. The other part of it is you need to take care of, like Pat said, keeping guys in programs, let them the maturation process and let them learn. It's the wild west. Were the 4,000 people, 4,000 plus in the portal at the minute it opened? That's ridiculous. You've got to find a way to fix that. And the other part of it is, I think, again, like Pat said, the best thing that happened to him was staying. Knew you couldn't go less movement. And he found people that cared about him, especially with Coach Parker, and developed him. And then, he's the prime example. If he doesn't get hurt, he's still playing in the NFL, man.
Yeah.
I mean, he was a sideline to sideline football player. Tremendous. Yeah. So, but again, it can't be fixed right now.
Yeah, even better for him now. He gets to hang out with me. Like, that's better than the NFL. Let's be honest. Hanging out with me is much better.
Absolutely.
And you're right. Iowa football is like a unicorn where it comes to like, one, Iowa had patience with Kirk. And that's non-existent nowadays. If you have bad seasons, they tell you to go. And then Kirk had loyalty to Iowa. And so that's what's really strange about Iowa. You see how long Kirk's been there. It just doesn't happen. Before I let you go, speaking of coaches that have been there for a long time doing great things, Ray Sharp at Newman, Sterling Newman, won his 400th game the other day. Had him on the show yesterday. If you missed the interview, go check it out. A lot of fun with Coach Sharp. That kind of stuff is cool. And he even mentioned, like, I want to coach for as long as they'll let me coach. I know it's one way in college, but it's trickled down to the high school where there's impatience and there's complaining and there's playing time and all those kind of things. To see someone like Ray Sharp, who's been doing it for as long as he has, as successful and as energetic for the future as he is, I thought was a really cool thing.
You're right, and everybody's looking for that next big trinket, Matt. And it starts with youth sports, the travel sports, and you and I are guilty. Travel baseball, AAU basketball, etc. You put a false sense of value and on young people. You got kids, the Regina kid that transferred to Iowa City High to play football, Savion Miller. Big fan of him. And why? What more can you do at Iowa City High that you can't do? Is because it's a couple levels higher. I've seen Regina, go toe to toe with 2 and 3 IM4A schools. So I don't understand that the value we put on young people before they get to college is a little extreme, and what they pay young people, what they're telling them they're going to pay them in college, puts stars in their eyes. So that's where it starts. It's different at Sterling Newman. They do things the right way, but high school coaches, there's pressure everywhere, man. Hey, you got to play my kid who's a star at AAU. Mommies and daddies are complaining from the stands. You're an ultimate complainer, and so you get it. And so it's very hard for them. There's not a better guy than Coach Sharp. So yes, but there's pressure to win. I mean, you have to win because my 8th grade basketball team won this. Yeah. And it's a whole lot different at the high school level.
No,
so,
I get you.
Good for him, but the landscape's changing.
I can't say anything because I'm a coach that got a technical foul in a 5th grade basketball game, so I lose all credibility.
That's what I meant. You're the complainer.
Before I let you go, where are you anywhere tomorrow night for basketball?
No, thank goodness.
There won't be any.
No. And again, times change, liability. Know who I'm married to. Yeah. I understand it. You got to take care of the kids and the families first. Yeah. That's a little dangerous tomorrow. But no, absolutely. Coming up, Blackhawks basketball soon, and be prepared. And then we have the MAC wrestling on the 31st.
And also on MC22, go check out all the shows that you're doing. It's not just the play-by-play stuff or the color commentating stuff. It's Keeping Up the Quad Cities. Isn't that what it's called?
Yes, thank you for saying that. And we have Inside Sports as well. And that conversation we had with you, Pete, Duke and I was when they threw in the photos from the old days. Was legendary, pal. Yeah, I appreciate you.
It was fun. And check all that kind of stuff up. Johnny, you do great work, despite the work that you do now. And you have to get back to doing work as well. People are waiting in your office. So I'll let you go, and we'll talk again next week. I appreciate you, my friend.
Love you, pal.
All righty. That is John Marks talking a little bit of everything. And I mean, and I'll say this with Caleb. And I am talking too much about Caleb Williams, but Johnny was not a Caleb guy, and sounds like a Caleb guy now. So, kind of one of those things where you have to maybe I need to look a little bit closer, but and I'm not a hater. I'm not saying he's not going to be good. I could tell you after year 2, Mitch wasn't going to work. Justin Fields wasn't going to work. It took a while for Bears fans to believe me and trust me and see it themselves. And I don't know about Caleb. Here's what I know. Nobody knows. Like if this Caleb stays the same for the next 5 years, then I'm okay with as a Lions fan. Like I'll be good with that. I obviously can get better, and I think he will get better and all those kind of things as well. So anyways, we'll wrap up the show right after this. You're watching OTA.
Hello, Dan Pearson here of FCA. Our team is thrilled to support Off the Air with our good friend Matt Randazzo. We share the view of the power of sport when it comes to relationships. including the influence of the coach. FCA believes the coach is the most influential person in America. Matt celebrates local coaches and athletes. His content is informational, insightful, and inspirational. Our Fellowship of Christian Athlete team loves partnering with Off the Air with Matt Randazzo while we engage, equip, and empower coaches and athletes in our 23 counties. FCA, the heart and soul in sports.
View from the West, the podcast covering Illinois high school football.
It's going to be a hard-hitting game. It's going to be great football.
Weekly analysis and reaction from around the western side of the state of Illinois.
This is the game we had circled when the year started.
Follow along on YouTube and subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts.
It's big-time football out there tonight, and I know we can play big-time football.
View from the West. We got you covered.
Are you looking for the Quad City's best chips and salsa? There's only one dude to turn to.
Right on.
Snoop. Hand-cut chips, fried fresh with that crunch you've come to love. And the most addicting salsa with delicious fresh ingredients each and every time. Pick up your chips and salsa, queso, enchiladas, and much more at the Stern Center in Rock Island. To place your order, simply call the man himself. It's Snoop at 309-314-8197 and find out for yourself what the rest of the Quad Cities already loves. Welcome back to Off Day with Matt Randazzo here on a Thursday in the Quad Cities. A fun day here on the show. Really enjoyed catching up with Cole Rusk, former Rock Island standout. Loved what he had to say about Rock Island and the Quad Cities in general. Obviously, a guy who's been to several schools and doing really well each stop he's gone to. And now he's got one more opportunity with Arizona. They're good. They won 9 games last year. Their quarterback's coming back, one of the better quarterbacks in the Big 12. Their offense scores plenty. I'm really excited to see what Cole Rusk does in that system out in Arizona. We wish Cole the best of luck. Always welcome on the show and love the fact that he always takes time to do our show here on OTA as well. Also, if you missed it, Tom Kakert on the show as well, talked plenty when it comes to Iowa athletics and a whole bunch more, as Iowa men get a little break now, and they need one, I think. I think they need to get back in the gym. You listen to Coach McCullum about practice and getting back and doing those kind of things. The Big Ten is a grind, and a lot of these players haven't played in the Big Ten. So I think it's a good little break as Iowa gets ready for USC next Wednesday, and then they go out west for a trip out west as well. So if you missed Tom Kakert, head back, check that out as well. If you missed any of the shows this week, go check them out. A fun week. Pat Anger's been on the show. Jake Brend was on the show as well. Mark Nessler tossed a pie in my face on the show this week as well. And more importantly than Mark Nessler, my youngest, Carson Randazzo, tossed a pie in my face as well. But we talked to Kyle Huseman and talked to him about everything that's been going on with the Iowa women as well. We talked yesterday to Ray Sharp, the head coach at Newman, who's been doing a fantastic job, obviously, and won his 400th career game, and Newman's really, really good as well. So a lot of good stuff on the show this week. If you missed it, go check it out. And here's the good news. We got one more show to get to tomorrow. We'll get it all set up, have you ready to rock and roll. If it's freezing tomorrow, stay inside, stay home from school, stay home from work, all those kind of things. And just check out Off the Air and catch up with some old shows. And then as always, check out the live show tomorrow as well. So plenty to get to this week and, of course, next week as well right here on OTA. I want to thank you guys for watching. I want to thank our fantastic sponsors for allowing us to do this show each and every weekday right here in the Quad Cities. And we will see you guys back here tomorrow morning. Stay warm. We'll see you then.